House Bill HB 2022. Schools, resources, services, consolidation grants. And this bill passed in the House 35 to 25. It is going to be heard in the Senate Education Committee on Tuesday, and it was introduced by Representative UDALL. Now, let me read a brief description of the summary. It says, directs the Arizona Department of Education to conduct a 5-year resource and service consolidation grant program, appropriates $10 million from the State General Fund in fiscal year 2022 for the grant program, exempts from the provisions of Section 35-190 Arizona Revised Statutes relating to lapsing of appropriations. Now let me put that in English. What this 35-190 means is that anytime you have an appropriation, you give money to a department or to an entity, if you were to adhere to the provisions of 35-190, that's the Arizona Revised Statute. If you adhere to that, that means that if you don't spend the money, you have to return it back to the general fund. Mm-hmm. But anytime you say that you do not have to adhere to that in a bill, that means that if you did not spend all the money for its purpose, you can still keep it and do whatever you want to do with it. Mm-hmm. The way that I characterize that is that it provides a slush fund for the whatever entity is getting the money.
Christmas parties.
Well, whatever. So anytime I see that it is exempt from 35-190, a red flag goes up every time, and that's the reason. And that's even before we start considering the merits of this, which, now, let me get this straight, okay, and you correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
No, not me.
The reason for consolidation is to save money, isn't it?
Oh, you'd think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're gonna have 2 separate buses, and you could get by with one for 2 districts, or if, you know, you're going to save money by consolidation. Why in the world do you need $10 million to get this going?
Well, that's only part of it, Jose.
Well, no, I know, that's just the beginning. I understand that. Again, I really don't understand that. All it is and it's a 5-year program. Look, if there's 2 school districts, okay, and they say, hey, you guys, we're spending too much of the taxpayer money.
You really expect them to say that?
Well, I mean, you know, you can dream. Okay, so let's say hypothetically that there is 2 school districts that say we're spending too much money because we have duplication of effort. Let's put our efforts together. Mm-hmm. Do I need $10 million to do that? Mm-hmm. Apparently I do. This bill, for whatever it is, it's a no-no. Now, it did pass 35 to 25, but I must point out that there were 6. Now, all the Democrats voted in favor of it, okay? And we understand that. What I don't understand is why so many Republicans voted for it. Especially why did Representative Udall introduce it in the first place. But at least there were 6 Republicans that voted against it, okay? And I'll tell you who they are. They're the good guys no, okay, let me rephrase that. There were 6 Republicans that voted for it, which makes them bad guys in my opinion, okay? I mean, they're good guys otherwise, but as far as legislation, they're bad guys. And the 6 that voted for this, along with the Democrats, were Dunn, John, Pratt, Udall, Bowers, and Osborne. All 6 of them joined the Democrats in voting for this bill. And again, it's going to be in the Senate Education Committee. I intend to tell my senators to vote against it. And I advise that, or recommend that you all do the same. Now,
Well,
Archie,
I have said before, and I will say again, Jose, if you see a bill that's introduced by UDALL, you better read it real close.
well, we did.
Because
We
I
did.
know, but I mean, yeah, there's been several that she's introduced, and I don't know of any of them that's not going to be wasting your tax dollars. This incidentally is a floor amendment, which basically, as I understand it, was a strike all, so that she has basically rewritten a previous bill that she had introduced. Yeah, so I mean, it reduces it way down. Instead of having, you know, like 15 or 16 pages, it's now down to only 2. But you know, this is a 5-year program, all right? She appropriates only $10 million for the first year. What happens to year 2, 3, 4, and 5? How much is going to be appropriated in those years, and for what purpose? And they're all exempt from the lapse provision of the statutes. And I have another problem. You know, as I understand it, under our education code, we opted, instead of having a state program, statewide program, we opted for local control, right? This is a violation of local control. If you're going to have all these different counties that are going to get together and join in this study agreement, then you no longer have local control. You're now moving over towards, or you're going towards statewide control. The other thing I have is that these people can get together, and here's where I run into a question. Submits a proposal that explains how the grant monies will be made available to consolidate resources and develop new services for all school districts, charter schools, county-free library? What does a school district have to do with a county-free library? Municipal libraries, what do they have to do with a municipal library? Non-profit and public libraries, tribal libraries, private schools, tribal schools, and here's the big ones, juvenile detention centers and jails. What does the county supervisors have to do with any of that? I don't have the faintest idea, but I suspect that it's just a boondoggle somewhere coming along to be played by Senator UDALL, and I suggest that it needs to be voted down.